Коллеги, предлагаю 2 минуты подождать у нас девушек, которые принимали участие в пресс-конференции.
Dear colleagues, if you don't mind, let's wait for those who took part in the conference.
И, конечно, мы приветствуем наших спикеров. Наша площадка посвящена женщинам в политике. То есть это наши уважаемые...
So these are the speakers that represent different branches of power, legislative, judicial. We've got deputies of municipalities, mayors of the cities. I myself, I'm a deputy of the Council of the Republic of Tatarstan. My name is Alsuna Bieva. I supervise Merhamet Mercy. I would like to thank all deputy women for all the fruitful work that they are doing, because us as entrepreneurs, all of us, so legislative branch of power is quite important for the real sector of economy, so that we could implement all the wishes that our entrepreneurs and make them come into life. I would like to start with introducing our speakers.
Svetlana Orlova will join us online. She is the auditor of the Accounts Chamber of the Russian Federation. Unfortunately, she will join us only in the format of the video conference. Also, Madam Purnima Andat from India, President of the International BRICS Forum. The President of the African Women's Association, Mayor of Afanlum, Mayanga Epsinonga Marie Angele, from Cameroon. Also, I would like to present Olga Pavlova, and also some other guests will join us a bit later. I see our dear guest, Ladan Haigi Ranjbar, doctoral student in political science and a master's degree in regional studies, and the representative of the Women, Youth and Family Working Group of the International Association of Asian Mayors. For sure, this is a very relevant question, and we see that the number of women in politics is growing year by year, and many of our female guests, including Sabina Alieva, she is a commissioner for human rights of the Republic of Azerbaijan. Yesterday we had a very fruitful discussion at the State Council of the Republic of Tatarstan. We discussed what exactly we could do to meet the necessities of females and to watch the female rights. And Sabina told us about the base cases, and that's why we want to cooperate and work with them together. This is a very important agenda. As I've said already, the number of women is growing in politics. It's still increasing, including the parliament of our countries, the member countries of Kazan Forum, and it's a positive trend, of course. This session is organized for the first time in the history of the forum, and many women decided to join the work of our session, as many female representatives are from social associations and governmental bodies. So that's why we decided to discuss a number of very important issues based on this agenda. So I would like to give a floor to our dearest Madam Svetlana Orlova, the auditor of the Accounts Chamber of the Russian Federation. Svetlana, can you hear us? Hello. Dear colleagues, could you help us technically, please? Okay, so now let me give the floor to Olga Pavlova. Wait a minute. It seems like we can see Svetlana. Dear colleagues, could you provide any information? Okay. I would like to give a floor to Olga Pavlova, PhD in education, honored coach of Russia and member of the Public Chamber of the Republic of Tatarstan. Olga is an active player within the agenda, and many projects are being implemented, including career opportunities for females and sports. So, Olga, could you please give a piece of valuable advice to all those young women who want and see themselves to be to play an important part in politics? So, Olga, the floor is yours. Thank you very much. It's a great honor for me to be here, to see you all. I love Kazan Forum a lot, and it's just becoming more and more interesting with lots of dearest and distinguished guests. Of course, dear ladies, 40% of Russia's leaders are women, and they achieve impressive results. And that's what our President Vladimir Putin said, and of course we agree with him, because women contribute a lot to development of our country. They are agents on the international agenda in the field of healthcare, education, and entrepreneurship, municipal government, and they play an important role for keeping our traditions and customs. And as Alsu has just mentioned, the most important issue is to raise the next generation of our country. My path in politics started 10 years ago, and I know better than anybody else how devoted our women in the State Duma and in Parliament and in many other governmental bodies. I would like to thank all the organizers of this female agenda at Kazan Forum, and that's a great honor to be here with you today and tell you about the project we are implementing in the Republic of Tatarstan. Not a long time ago, we celebrated this 80th anniversary of the Second World War, and unfortunately we don't have that many people who were able to see all the events with their own eyes. And now we understand even better how important it is to keep the memory of those people. And I'm so honored that I had an opportunity to meet with many of those people, not only in Tatarstan, but also in other cities, namely our brother cities, Luhansk and Lysychansk. Together with Lilia Marvina, who is the deputy of the consul, and Svetlana Zakharova, who is here with us, with Yelena Kuzmichova, also a close friend of ours, we implemented a patriotic project with warmth to the veterans. Our aim was to help them with the central heating system in their apartments and houses. Most of them live on the front lines of the conflict. We started with Lysychansk. We were able to raise money and buy coal and wood for private houses and to fix the central heating systems in their houses. And I'm so proud of these results. Thank you very much, dear colleagues who were with us. 2024 was announced the year of family by our President Vladimir Putin, and as one of the most important issues on the agenda is the project which is called the diversity of Russian peoples, and we are aimed at creating a publicly available source about historical heritage and cultural heritage of the Russian peoples, including Lugansk, Donetsk, and Kherson regions of the Russian Federation. We are aimed at organizing the exhibition in order to demonstrate national clothes, both for children, teenagers, and adult people. This project is implemented on the platform of the United Russia Center, and many of my colleagues, representatives of the Republic of Tatarstan, work together with us, and we have a number of partners, including the Museum for Keeping the Traditions, Preservation of Traditions, and the major aim of this project is to provide scientifically evident basis that with all the peoples of Russia, we are the united nation, and we have the common historical and cultural background, and together we are more successful and we are stronger than ever. This project became one of top 10 best projects out of 18,000 projects represented by Roscongress exhibition. And it drew a lot of attention from the public. Many members of this project are invited to St. Petersburg in order to meet with potential investors. Another important project, part of this project, is providing workplaces, because the United Russia Party, they started a huge and important reform. I would like to thank Aliya Zaripova, the head of our labor and employment service. The aim of this project is to provide conditions, to create conditions for better training and development of skills and professional competences of people. We prepared a number of amendments and we passed them to the State Duma. Dear ladies, my career with United Russia is probably the most unique project that we have ever developed, and it's definitely a successful project aimed at professional training, retraining, organization of workshops, exhibitions, and so on and so forth. I will give you just a single example. At the exhibition, which is called Russia is the Time of Opportunities, which was held in 2023. We had 55 participants from the industrial sector, from plants and companies. 500 people were able to be hired within this project. Another issue that I would like to cover, and it's a very sensitive one, you probably know that younger generation is not that healthy, and for example, in the Republic of Tatarstan, we have more than 30,000 children who are disabled. And for sure, we understood that we had to organize a project for those people, for their socialization. And starting from 2014, under the initiative of female deputies, Marhamat, we launched the project Sport Without Borders, and we have partners from all around the world. One of the issues is the inclusive family club, where all families with mentally disabled children can take part. One of our partners is the regional department of the Olympic Games, and I would like to thank one of our close friends, Larissa Parfionova. who did a great job within this project. They created a movement represented by families and their children with mental and physical disabilities. There are many directions: physical training, professional training. We provide employment opportunities for such children. We worked really hard to extend the number of professions for such children. Those children had to be socialized, and definitely that's one of the most important projects for us. In 2023, the United Russia body launched a marathon, Sport Without Borders. A marathon is a mass event. The marathon started in all centers, health resorts around Tatarstan and Russia. The marathon joined many people of different social clusters, aged people, disabled people, our youth. All of them take part in this marathon. And lectures and trainings are also available in online format. We have a big number of partners from sports federations. They all joined this marathon, and I'm really honored to say that if this female agenda is also implemented in this marathon. We also take an active part in all Russian sport marathon by involving Russian regions into this event, including our new territories where they had used Ukrainian standards before, and I'm also taking an active part in this process. We try to involve young people and children from these new regions, and thanks to Rais of the Republic of Tatarstan, Rustam Minikhanov, more than 1,000 children from Lugansk and Donetsk regions, they came to Tatarstan and they were able to pass a health check and took part in sports events. So many of these children, for the first time, visited doctors. For these children, we also offered a new direction, which we call Phygital. Last year, in in winter, we hosted children in Faros, which is in Crimea, from these Russian regions. And another sport initiative is the state sports standard. It has 18 levels, and all citizens of the Russian Federation take part in this event. Out of 74 children whom we brought from this region, 48 got gold, silver, and bronze medals, and now they are preparing to take part in the parade on the Red Square in Moscow. So, dear friends, historically, the social nature of a woman actually became the basis of the Russian society. Women are the agents who pass from generation to generation all the historical data, the memory, historical memory, making us stable and making us able to see where the falsification takes place. And of course, this is extremely important for the Russian statehood. Now, let me show you a small video to tell and demonstrate what exactly we do within this project.
Дорогие дамы,
Dear ladies, thank you so much. I'm quite sure that we can do everything, as we say here in Tatarstan. We're here and we're united. Thank you so much, Olga Ivanovna, for your contentful story about the role of women in politics and how female agenda works forward. And now I guess Olga Yurievna Orlova is already online. We have already introduced her as the auditor of the Accounts Chamber of the Russian Federation. Svetlana Orlova, Svetlana, can you hear us, madam? Yes, I can hear you. Can I start my report? Some small technical issues. We can see you, Svetlana Yurievna, but you're not really audible. I can hear you. I'm online. Let's ask the technical engineers to get on well with engineering issues. It's all working on our side. Please check on yours. We can see you, but you know the sound is quite fragmented. But we're really happy to greet you at the platform of the summit. We have been waiting for you for quite long, and we would like to learn from you firsthand with the big politician of that level. How do you estimate of Russian females presented in politics? So how can you estimate their role? We are going to give your answers and your report to the ladies a little bit later. Thank you, Svetlana Yurievna. Let's applaud. Dear colleagues, it's quite a pity, but we have to go on. And today, Madam Purnima Anand is here with us, President of the International BRICS Forum. We have numerously said that Kazan is meeting BRICS Summit and BRICS Games currently. And Ms. Purnima Anand is going to greet all of our ladies. There is a question for you. How do you see women in politics, speaking about BRICS countries, and what cases are the most successful from your opinion?
as Olga told me in her speech that initially we saw that 40% women of Russia are in politics. So this is very good number. And our friend Halima is here from South Africa. We saw that in Africa also political participation is very high. And in India, women participation in politics is high. And last year, our Prime Minister Narendra Modi gave opportunity to women have 50% participation in parliament. This bill is passed, but it is waiting for the execution. Now, Indian government is having elections. I hope after government formation, it will be a very important execution of the bill. So I can say that in BRICS countries, participation of women is increasing. But though it is a big gap, we need to fulfill it because poverty, inequality, and gender problems are more can be observed in BRICS countries and BRICS plus countries. So your question is valid, and I will continue with my speech. Because voting right of the woman is also a very big question in some countries. So it is best opportunity I have received as a woman to discuss the subject, the role of women in politics, new democratic values in new realities. At this platform where representatives are present from all over the world, democratic values are fundamental principles that underpin the democratic governance. They shape the legitimacy, feasibility and stability of political regime. A democratic regime is considered legitimate because it is based on the consent of people. Women have been the backbone of societies across the globe, yet their representation in political leadership has been disproportionately low. It is high time we acknowledge and address this disparity. It is not only related to right to vote, but simultaneously related to participation in the decision making process, political activism, and political consciousness. Women in India participating in voting run for public offices and political parties at lower levels, more than men. Other countries' situation is more or less is the same. As you ask about BRICS, we can see in BRICS, Asia and Africa. So participation is at lower level is very active. Only a century ago, women were and excluded from their countries' most important political institutions. Virtually everywhere now they are voting in almost all countries. They represent their fellow citizen in legislature and sometimes lead their countries. Women have gained the right to vote and sit in parliament almost everywhere, but they remain underrepresented, especially in the highest offices. In the BRICS nation, we have seen a surge of women taking up leadership role, breaking barriers and setting example for future generation. They have shown us that women voices in politics lead to more inclusive decisions and can help improve social justice outcome. Take, for instance, my own journey. As a woman, I have had the privilege of serving as the president of the BRICS International Forum. This position has allowed me to influence policies and foster cooperation among our member nations. It is testament to the fact that women can do excel in leadership roles when given the opportunity. Now we are liking the participation of heads of the republics and states to carry forward the agenda of BRICS countries to the United Nations and international alliances, because our participation in international alliances is very less or not presentable. So this is very high time because Kazan is conducting BRICS summit in October. So it is very important that we should build international alliances and we should raise voice about BRICS agenda in international platforms. So this is State Council of the Republic of Tatarstan. I heard about Mehrament here has been instrumental in promoting women participation in politics. Their efforts have led to an increase in women representations, thereby ensuring a more balanced and inclusive politics landscape. And Islamic funds and BRICS funds together can do more wonders, as I said in my previous speech. Women are still underrepresented in politics, parliament and public life. Women make up less than 23% of parliamentarians with an average of 18%, while men make up more than 77%, leaving more than 50% gender gap is observed. Attitude towards women candidates are still largely characterized by deeply ingrained stereotype, and political opponent often use those stereotypes to question women capabilities. The struggle to defend democratic value continues. Even amid pandemics and other crises, democratic values remain essential for the quality and survival of democratic system, even as they adapt to new realities. The stigma against women in politics is still alive and well. They continue to face structural, socioeconomic, institutional and cultural barriers. Women are putting themselves forward for election more and more, yet their numbers are still far behind those of men. Women leadership in new democratic model is very important point to discuss. After Crimea conflict and 4 region referendum in elections, new values for democracies arise, which is not accepted by current international democratic system. Women and children are suffering for their rights in these 4 regions. sovereignty and traditional values, we have to stand with them and recognize new rise. Here we can see women from many nations, but if we consider and if we understand four regions problem, uh, only Russia is supporting them. And Russia is under sanction due to this four regions support. You see why international democratic institutions are not supporting the rights of four regions. Why only Russia? Why Russia is under sanction? So this is very important question today when we are sitting in Russian Federation. We need to understand what is the reason why international democratic institutions are not giving values to the sovereignty of these four regions. Why they are not understanding Crimea referendum 10 years back. Today, whole world is in problem. Russia-Ukraine crisis is at the highest level. Economic problems are rising in all corners. Yes, during this time, BRICS got new opportunities, new strength, which is also very important because I always say that you can see it as a power shift from west to east. Always when there is a change, big things happens, maybe it is war or maybe some social revolutions. So we are observing it that these four reasons, and Crimea is a leader. Crimea is a leader earlier in 75 years back also when new democratic thinking were developed and United Nations creation was developed from Crimea. Now again Crimea is very important, and here through this platform I would like to say that it is very important to think about new democratic institutions, to give values to such places where people are not getting their rights of language, right of their tradition, right of their sovereignty in their own countries. So four regions are the leading regions and they will really develop new political agenda. And I observed, I visited to these four regions, Donbass, Kherson, Mariupol and Crimea, and I saw that people were really had very serious problems and nobody was listening them. Russian Federation gave them opportunity to give the vote, to give the right. This is really wonderful and I really appreciate Russian people that to support these people, they are getting all the weapons on their back. This is really important, and this is, we congratulate to Vladimir Putin that he is facing everywhere problems, but he is supporting these weak people. So only strong person can stand with the people. So it is really a model, and I am thankful that you invited me. And I would like to say in the end that we should create some model because you all are political women, leaders in economy, in culture, in other spheres of the life. So under the leadership of your head of the Tatarstan, we should sign some MOUs to create new democratic institution to understand the values for the weaker people, to give them support, because now we are having digital technologies, we are having funds, we are having everything in this world. Only we need to utilize in proper way. So if you will do this, then you will be a leader. So it is a time to think from new path, new arrangement, and everywhere such forums, Kazan Forum 24, and again we shall meet in Kazan during BRICS Summit, and I hope we will enlighten new path and new leadership for the women's, and I hope 50% women will come in the parliament. Thank you very much.
Спасибо. Спасибо большое, госпожа.
Thank you so much, Madam Purnima. We have recently had a meeting with Rais of the Republic of Tatarstan, Mr. Minikhanov, and he was the one to say that it's important to discuss the family issue, the female issue perspective. And we would be glad for you to take part in it.
I would like to give the floor to Madam Yanga Mariangela. She is from Cameroon. That's her second time in Kazan, because before she already visited Kazan. And she is the president of the African Women's Association. We are happy to see the guests from Cameroon. And I have a question for Madam Yanga. What is the role of women in the political life in your country? So, Madam Yanga, the floor is yours. Thank you very much. I will speak French if you don't mind. I'm really happy to be here today. We discuss very important issues, and I would like to tell you about the role of women in politics and also about the problems and the issues that we face as women. In Africa, the political sector is mostly represented by men, while women have to play the traditional role, being engaged in the education of their children and to take care about home. And despite the convention that was signed, the Convention Against Discrimination of Women, women in Africa still face a lot of challenges while taking their place in the government in Africa. 52% of African population are women, and only 16% of all women are the members of the Cabinet of Ministers. 12% of women are mayors, and 33% of women are deputies. It's only 61 persons. Now we were able to get 65 places as we demanded more places for women. I would like to share my story with you. I'm a mayor of one of African cities. That's Afanlum. And I'm also the president of the African Women's Association. Let me tell you a bit more about my political career. In the same beginning, I worked at the association, one of the youth associations in Afanlum city. I worked in the association of one of the political parties in our country, and then I moved to another settlement. And for a certain period of time, I was responsible for some other tasks, and later I became the head of the section, the political section. After that, I had a chance to work in many state institutions, many committees. My political career started in 2012. I also took part in charitable events aimed at support of women in agriculture. And when I go back to my hometown, and there I studied agriculture at the university, I see how poor my compatriots are. Those people whom I love, whom I know for all my life. So I have to buy seeds for these women. so they can do some agricultural work, and that's probably the reason why I'm elected as the mayor of Afanluma. At the last elections, party elections, I also took the position of the president of the African Women's Associations, and I became the first female president. Can you imagine? Right after that, I also won the elections and became a mayor for another term. After that, I became the head of this association of the mayors of Cameroon cities. People trust me, so that's why I still keep this post. Now I'm the candidate for the president of the Central African Association, and before that I was the vice chairperson of the Female Association of Mayors. Sustainable development is one of the key agendas. We try to support women, to provide new opportunities for them, to protect their rights. We watch the situation with the rights of females. It's very important to develop this issue, to inform the population of African countries about the rights of females and about a sustainable development agenda. We provide more educational opportunities for girls in order to prepare them to become the new leaders of our nation. And yes, of course, we do have a lot of obstacles. When you are playing a certain role in politics, you will definitely meet a lot of challenges. It doesn't mean that men doesn't face those obstacles. Of course, they do as well, but probably not that many, especially if you're a woman in an African country, and you know that man is the head of a family in any African country, and it definitely reflects the overall situation, even in politics. And men who voted the election, they are not ready to support female candidates. So unfortunately, I can say that women take just the second place in the society of the African countries, and many men see women as a property. Men use women in order to achieve their aims and goals. Women in Africa face a great number of violations in terms of the rights of females. It's really hard to start this path in politics for females. Women normally don't believe in themselves. They are not self-confident enough because they see politics as a male territory. And men actually do a lot to keep their whole situation like that. So that's why those women who risk to take their place in politics, they are also judged by other women. Another obstacle is a financial problem, because to start a career in politics, female candidates need certain finances, and unfortunately women don't normally have those money, and they have to address men in order to get help from them to make their way easier. But unfortunately men do not see women as political leaders, and they think that the place of a woman is at home, and that's why it doesn't help to solve all the problems with females in Africa and specifically in Cameroon. Cameroon is in Muslim country, as you probably know, so some of the principles in this society are related to Islam as a religion. Some men think that women have to stay at home, to listen, and to obey her man, and that's why probably in the north of Cameroon, many women, they don't even attend school, secondary school. They are not educated. And for sure, that's an obstacle for a female in their political career. Those women who are not educated will never be able to start their career in politics. In our country, we have two state languages. One of them is French, and in order to start your career, you have to know French, and sometimes it's impossible. Now let me tell you about our strategy in social sphere. In the beginning of my professional career, women were supported at the local level, and thanks to this support at my party, I was able to develop my career opportunities. I was supported by the residents of my city, and that's one of the advantages I had in comparison with other women. Also, I was the head of the enterprise, which was pretty successful. It also helped me a lot to get this position. Without all that, it would have been impossible. So I'm short of time, so that's why I have to skip part of my presentation. So all in all, I think that the role of a woman in politics in Africa is extremely important. I'm absolutely sure that women can help to find a common language with other people. They can find themselves not just in education. And as a mayor of Afanlum City, I try to provide more opportunities for girls. So in the end, I wanted to tell you about my path, as I have already done. So now you know what my path was. If I had more time, I would have told you more about all the challenges and all the obstacles that I faced. And of course, many of them are still in my way, but self-confidence is the most important thing for any woman to be successful both in life and politics. Thank you very much, Madam Angela. Your path is really inspiring. Thank you for sharing your story. And the most important thing is that women have to be self-confident. Thank you for that. Now I would like to give the floor to our colleague from Iran, Madam Ladan Hayhaji Ranjbar, who is a doctoral student in political science and a master's degree in regional studies and a representative of the Women, Youth and Family Working Group of the International Association of Asian Mayors. So, Madam Ladan, could you tell us about the formats and the way women take part in these formats, and is it easy to interact women?
A member of the Asian Mayors Forum in Iran. I am proud to cooperate with you friends in this conference. I am from a country that provided the political possibility for me to participate in this conference as a woman, as a representative of my country, Iran. Is it possible for all women in the world, especially in developing countries? The question can raise in the issue of women's role in politics. Women's desire for diplomacy is not a new issue. In 400 before Christ, Aristophanes used the metaphor of weaving in one of his works to show the diplomatic power of women in order to depict women with exceptional diplomatic ability who gather the strands of society to negotiate peace. Women's political participation in society in its various forms, including voting, membership in political parties, running for elections, planning and setting political goals, being appointed to political positions, etc. All depend on the type of public and political culture of societies. By raising the level of public and political culture of societies, the importance of women's position and political role in those societies increases. Therefore, it can be said that to improve the political status of women in continues, especially in developing countries. There is a need to try to improve the public culture and political culture of the society. And in that way, women play a very important and decisive role. Therefore, it can be said that as the promotion of the political role of women in societies depends on the level of cultural and social development of those societies. The cultural and social development of societies also depends on the position of the political role of women in those societies. Now the question is raised, should women in developing societies wait for the development of their societies in order to achieve their rightful political position, or should they themselves improve their position in various political arenas of society? Each of these two paths can be considered as a way to improve the political position of women in today's development countries. For example, both the development and progress of these countries led to the promotion of the political status of women in those societies, and women made great efforts in these societies to achieve their rights and political status. But today, this path is followed slowly in developing countries because there are neither suitable conditions for women's political participation in society in most developing countries, nor generally women in this society believe that they can play a role in the political conditions of their country. Also, culture factors are very effective in this situation. The question that is raised in this regard is, how can women in these societies improve their political position like women in developed countries? In response to question, we can point to developing countries such as some countries in Latin America, Southeast Asia, India, and Bangladesh, where women play an important and decisive role in the political power structure of the country of the highest political levels, which even it is higher and more important than the political status of women in some developed countries. In explaining the high importance of women's political roles in the mentioned underdeveloped societies, it can be said, it seems that there is a kind of elitism in these countries, which has provided the ground for the person of elite women in political arenas. Although their higher education and experience, women have convinced, persuaded, and encouraged the political parties and institutions of those countries to accept their decisive and effective role in the political arenas of the societies. Therefore, it seems that the presence of elite women in various political arenas and positions of those societies is one of the ways to create a context for promoting the political role of women in developing countries. so that the ability and necessity of playing the political role of women in those societies has become a general, cultural, and necessary thing to pave the way for the participation and presence of more women in the political affairs of those countries, both structurally and culturally. Biases against women are relatively universal in decision-making situations, and stereotypes based on gender roles and leadership ability of men and women. Governments and parliaments must create measures and structure that make it possible for women to have antisocial hours of political work alongside family life. Family obligations must be shared so that women can not only work but also participate in political from an early age. It will benefit everyone. In summary, I am going to introduce the organization which honored me participate in this conference. This organization has been established with the purpose of spreading knowledge in technical and non-technical, public and urban diplomacy, and also exchanging experience in urban management fields with this motto, Asia for citizens and integration for a better life. Me, as the envoy of the Women, Youth and Family section of this organization, invite all of the attendees, especially elite women, to join this institution. Thank you.
Спасибо. Спасибо большое, госпожа.
Thank you very much, Madam Ladan. Dear colleagues, let's continue our session. We have our colleague from Turkey here.
Представлены ваши политики, какую они роль играют в политике вашей страны?
Çok teşekkür ederim.
Thank you very much. Dear Alsu, thank you. I would like to thank our moderator, our guests, all the ladies, and also gentlemen. There are just few of them, but they're still with us. I'm really happy that we are here together in order to discuss a very important issue. That's a great pleasure to be here. Our session is the basis, the foundation of further discussion of key issues, the female agenda in Turkey. We live in a multi-ethnic society, and women are creative. They take a lot of efforts in order to implement a lot of projects. We try to support the role of females in the society. In Anatolia, for example, women are the basis, the foundation, not only of a family, but the whole society. Women take part, active part in all fields. And thanks to women, culture and education is developing. Women, the representatives of public and social institutions, play a huge and important role. And in order to make women equal with men, we do a lot. We make a lot of efforts. Actually, in European countries, the development of women leadership began not a long time ago, actually. And the major task for Turkey, and that's a recent movement, it started only in the 20th century, but women equality is one of the important issues. And within the OIC, we implemented a number of projects aimed at development of the social role of women in the countries of Asia. We try to support women. We try to empower women. And I hope that implementation of this project will create the basis for empowering women. In our country, the role of women is strengthening. They take part in elections, in state life, and we want to continue this process. In 1930 in Turkey, women got the right to vote, and in 1939 they got a chance to be elected in the parliament, and we became one of the first countries which implemented this initiative. In the middle of the 20th century, women also got a number of rights that found reflection in the constitution of our country. At some political parties, despite of the principles of the philosophy and religious views, we try to make women equal, which is also reflected in our constitution. And in the period starting from 2004-2010, we were able to observe the positive trend. Women became even more equal in comparison with men, and for sure there are many obstacles. But in recent years, we did a lot to empower women, and our president help women and support women in each field. He provides certain political and constitutional guarantees of female equality. And in 2002, the share of deputies, female deputies, was only 24%, and now we have 110 female representatives. Is it enough? Of course, it's not. But we do understand that it's a long process of development. Besides, we try to promote the idea that if women are active in the social life of the country, everybody will win. And women, for sure, play an important role in political life of our country. Plan number 12 includes the idea of empowerment of females in all industries in science and research and development, actually in any field. In this plan number 12, we try to reflect this key idea. As a ministry responsible for family and social issues, that's one of our responsibilities. We try to implement a number of projects that help women and support women. We actually have an individual plan developed by our ministry aimed at empowerment of females. And all our actions are taken in consideration, taking this plan into consideration. We do observe a lot of climate changes, and unfortunately it has a certain impact on life of females, and we took that into consideration as well. We prepared a road map, and we have a lot of hopes that we'll be able to implement all the paragraphs of this roadmap. We also understand that we have to work with young women in order to make them leaders, the future leaders of the world, and due to this fact, the OIC took a lot of effort to open the potential of our females, young females, and to open new horizons for females aged 18 up to 30 years old. Some of the programs are aimed at supporting female entrepreneurs, and the climate program, UN climate program, also helps our women. Many of female entrepreneurs made a contribution to that, and in the end, let me thank the Republic of Tatarstan and Kazan Forum, as they provided a real ecosystem with a strong team of professionals, and help females from Muslim countries work together, cooperate, collaborate, and I do hope that in the future we'll be able to overcome any challenges and obstacles, and this platform will become a wonderful opportunity to discuss the agenda, and world is developing in numerous different directions. We know about the situation in Gaza, for example, and we see how females and children are struggling there. And as women, we have to think about those women and support them. Thank you very much. Thank you for your presentations, for your kind words. Thank you very much, dear colleagues. Now we get back to Svetlana Arlova. So, Svetlana, hello again.
Can you hear me, dear colleagues? Svetlana Yurina, let's try and pursue our talk. I would like to get the feedback from you. So, you know, as long as you are speaking, we can hear you. Dear friends, I would like to say that more than 16,000 participants
Давайте вот так вот.
Ну, давайте через...
Okay, let's try and use the headphones. Thank you also. Can you hear me? Yes. I would like to say that the forum is taking good numbers and good reputation. Female perspective seems to be quite relevant. Dear female friends talked about serious role of the lady in this world, female role. But the balance is important. Some legislative issues have to be interconnected because the world wants peace and wants further development. Russia is one of the greatest countries in the world. And in our count chamber, we've been introduced to a new supervisor, and also listen to the report of Valentina Matvienko. She is the leader of female movement in Russia. She is the leader of the chamber. And something I would like to focus on is that today's world is rapidly developing and putting new questions, new missions in front of our community. Female leadership is quite active, and we should be presented in all regional and non-regional municipalities, locally and globally. So I guess she has been working for more than 12 years as a deputy supervisor. Then she was the head of Vladimir region in Russia, one of the oldest regions in Russia. Vladimir region is, Suzdal is going to celebrate millennium this year. And I'm working as an auditor of the chamber. We are working with more than 177 countries. We deal with financial issues, how they develop, infrastructure, social right implementation. In Russia, we are open for female development because everything is in legislation. Constitution, family issues, family articles. So the speaker, the coach that presented her report in front of me mentioned that 40% of women are heading businesses in Russia. No matter what sanctions we are facing, we're developing. 3.6% of industrial growth we're demonstrating. So import substitution is in our focus. We are following social duties in front of the community. 40% of women are the leaders. 68% are presented in different branches of government. Judicial power, by the way, where females are also present. And by the way, I guess the leader of judicial branch now is the leader in Russia. It's good. 75% of people are involved in judicial branch. Yes, just one head of the regions is a woman. I heard the speech of the lady from Cameroon, the mayor, and we've got just one lady as the head of the region, but we're moving forward. National Parliament, 18% of ladies, and I would like to say that women's head the Fund of Defenders of our Motherland, Anna Civilova. She helps our warriors currently. It's important that it's important for a woman to get socialized, to focus on this issue, career promotion, then focus on having babies. I would like to say that we've got perfect conditions for women to balance, to combine social contracts, state support for families, so to combine family role and career. Maternal financial support that has been prolonged up to 2030 in Russia. Many missions are in front of us from our president. 24 million people with 30 million children are in Russia, and many colleagues, my female friends, we discussed that at this platform. It's important to get this officially legislated. I used to visit quite a lot of countries and parliaments, and I'm aware of human rights, female rights in Africa, countries of Latin America, Asia. It's important to speak about this on the legislative level. In Russia, we've got it. And currently, we've got a holiday, not just for females, but we also have the Day of the Father. There should be harmony between female and male rights. Yes, we are fighting for female rights, but at the same time, we have to think about not just female health, but also about male health. So, for example, we have to speak about voting process with females as majority participating. We also have to speak about male role when they, for example, have to get the sick leave on the same conditions as women. According to the report, one analytical report from the audit chamber of statistics about female distribution. Of course, we've got decreasing demographic situation. We are a big country, and we have to support multi-kid families and childhood. And I remember the time when Vladimir Putin, our president, just launched the programs of family support and the so-called program of people saving. We are holding a conference in one of the best of republics, the Republic of Tatarstan, the strongest republic with very active ladies on both legislative and judicial levels. In businesses, they have quite active young people. Very soon we are going to have Eurasian Forum with analysis on these issues. And the audit chamber has done quite a good report we can share. Islamic world, it's a future world. Then there is a lot of respect towards it. It's a lot of countries. Halal industry, 11.3 billion people involved in this industry. And us as females, we have to share our problems and our strategic aims, but still the role of the man is also crucial. We have to speak about the balance, the harmony. I would like to wish good luck, good mood. I would like it to find success, to be beautiful. And of course, female leadership today is recognized, is acknowledged on the world level. Svetlana Yulievna, thank you, and all the applause are going to you. And Vladimir region spectators are asking to remember them to you. Thank you, to give their best regards. Thank you so much, dear colleagues. I'm going to be present tomorrow at the platform. We're waiting for you.
So wonderful that we were able to listen to Svetlana, our dearest colleague. And now I would like to give a floor to our speaker from Azerbaijan, Madam Sabina Aliyeva, a Commissioner for Human Rights of the Republic of Azerbaijan. Our colleagues from Cameroon and Iran told us today about the rights of women in their countries. So could you tell us about the situation in your country? Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to thank you for the kind invitation and for your hospitality. And I would like to wish all the organizers of this conference a successful event and fruitful dialogue. We appreciate a lot that at this forum, a huge attention is paid to development and protection of the rights of females and their involvement in political processes, because that's the evidence that the effective process of female rights is one of the important issues on the agenda. Women are 50% of population in the world, and that's why, for sure, it's very important condition to involve women into global processes. By analyzing the experience of the past, we see that in each country we see certain particular things in each country, and our experience is unique because on the legislative level we were able to protect female rights, and we see women as an active player on the arena, and all the issues related to women were pivotal for Azerbaijani people starting from the end of the 19th century. You probably know that Azerbaijan was one of the first countries where the first public school for women was opened, and then newspapers and magazines for women were printed. In 1918, the Azerbaijani Democratic Republic was founded, and one of the principles of this republic was gender equality. That's why Azerbaijan became one of the first countries in the world who provided women with the right to vote at the elections. So all Azerbaijani women could be elected and could vote starting from the beginning of the 20th century. That's why the role of women in Azerbaijani society is one of the key directions of Azerbaijani policies. There are a number of projects and initiatives. We are actively developing non-governmental organizations for women. We implement institutional reforms which provide opportunities for women to open their potential and to broaden their horizons. One of our achievements is the number of laws, as for example the law on gender equality in Azerbaijan, the law on prevention of domestic violence. These legislative tools, as well as the roadmap for sustainable development of Azerbaijan, is the key concept at Azerbaijan. And we keep creating new, very perspective initiatives in our country in order to extend possibilities for women. The implemented programs in order to provide women with more career opportunities, help to develop the economic progress in Azerbaijan and strengthen the position of girls and young women in our country. We have, each 5 years, we have the all-country meeting of female representatives, which is also which was also one of the targets for our government. By coordinating the mechanisms between the institutions and the governmental bodies, we can reach all the tasks and aims. In 1998, we founded the Committee for solving problems of females, and their agenda was extended in 2016. One of such initiatives was the Committee on the Issues of Females and Families. We see a bigger number of non-governmental political organizations. Nowadays we have more than 200 of them. And no doubt that the key role is played by the institution of ombudsmen and other providing committees. The above mentioned institutions those who watch the protection of human and female rights, it's a non-legislative institution aimed at providing opportunities for each citizens on the principle of equality. And based on the principles of transparency and justice, the activity of this institution in accordance with Paris principles helps to protect freedoms, liberties and rights of females. Providing females with gender equality is one of the priorities of our institution, and we deal with certain cases in accordance with the legislation of Azerbaijan. We process demands and complaints, and we help women to protect their rights. We analyze the legislative initiatives. We work together with national and international organizations, mass media, and so on. On the constant basis, we organize campaigns for we female in order to inform them on existing opportunities for them. Women are represented at the labor market, and that's one of the key factors for current development of our society. And by analyzing the situation at the labor market is one of the issues that I'm responsible for. We try to provide access for women to education, and that's also one of the issues that we try to observe. We work with the centers of labor, and if we think that important, we also address the Ministry of Labor of Azerbaijan, and as a result, some of young women were able to get workplaces based on the registers that we have in Azerbaijan. In order to support young female leaders, we were able to create the register of workplaces, and there is a special competition for female leaders. And this employment labor reserve receive an opportunity to get an annual plan and a financial grant in the amount of 20,000 manat. Our organization is actively working with regulatory bodies in order to develop our principles. In order to increase the financial literacy among women, we organize educational events in both cities and rural areas. Our organization were able to build relationships with higher educational institutions, and as a professor of university, I work at Baku State University. And last year, I also published certain research results aimed at prevention of domestic violence and early marriages. The interesting thing is when we developed the strategy, our recommendations were taken into consideration. The government took into consideration our recommendations. We try to provide opportunities for the youth to make our youth more active in the field of culture and education, and this strategy meets all the requirements of UN initiative in order to create more workplaces, including young females, and to set certain indicators in order to decrease the unemployment rates in our country. We are actively working in the field of professional orientation by involving young ladies, girls into some non-specific areas like transport, technologies. Every year, a state examination center organizes gender-based research. And it's interesting that in the recent 10 years, we have a bigger percent of young women who enter technological universities. One of the most relevant issues in this field is provision of rights of those women who are in jail right now. We face a number of complaints from these women, and we try to process them immediately, but to be honest, we face the decreasing number of those complaints because we were able to improve the conditions for these women, to improve health care in prisons and jails, and in order to adapt those women after their release, their re-socialization and employment, we also organize special educational events. We involve experts and also publish certain brochures and research results. We do have a national strategy for the development of this initiative in order to involve females in all fields of our country, and for sure we have already got impressive results. In the last 20 years, we got 35% of women in governmental bodies, and half of them are the chairwomen of the governmental bodies, and their representation in the parliament is now 18%. Deputy chairwomen in most of the governmental bodies are female, and the same we can say about the court system. Back in the days, only 62 female judges existed in Azerbaijan, and now it doubled. We have 124 female judges in Azerbaijan. We also observe the increasing number of female entrepreneurs. Back in the days, we had only 5% of female entrepreneurs, and now 31% of entrepreneurs are females. The post of the Speaker of the Parliament and the head of the President's administration, the plenipotentiary ambassador, the chairman of the State Committee, and the chairperson of the examination board, all of them are females. We have a number of outstanding female scholars, researchers, even army generals. And by analyzing the reports of the government of Azerbaijan in order to eliminate all forms of discrimination towards women, we see that we were able to achieve impressive results. Helps us to reveal the progress of the gender policy in our country. So I can say that Azerbaijani model is well-structured, well-coordinated, both in governmental and non-governmental sectors. In order to improve the legislative basis, we have to increase the number of female in all fields of our social life. In the end, following the time requirements of our session, I would like to express my hope for further strengthening of our dialogue. Thank you very much. I would like to thank Saria Saburskaya. We work in close cooperation. We support each other at all levels, both regional and international. We try to extend the geography of our meetings and strengthen the ties between our countries. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you very much, Sabina. And now let me give a floor to our colleague from Belarus.
Natalia Viktorovna Yakubitskaya is here with us. She is from Belarus, Deputy Chairperson of the Standing Commission of the Council of the National Assembly of the Republic of Belarus on Regional Policy and Local Self-Development, Chairperson of the Minsk Regional Council of Deputies. Dear ladies, dear female friends, let me tell you, let me give you the words of greetings on behalf of the Assembly of the Republic of Belarus from Natalia Ivanovna Kachalova. We would like to give the greetings to the organizing committee, guests of the forum, Russia Islamic World Kazan 2024. And we would like to thank the organizing committee for a possibility to take great participation in this forum. The Belarus side is honored to take female perspective as an agenda item of the forum. Shall ladies do politics? I guess there are quite a lot of researches connected with that, but female participation in supervision on all the levels is stabilizing, is talking about stability. 30–40% of women in the structures of power show the healthy development and social orientation of community development. In 144 countries, there are no obstacles for females to take part in political life of the country. But unfortunately, today's world is under crisis of different nature concerning climate change, war conflicts, their consequences. All of this touches upon the economy and safety of the states, and none of them is neutral from the gender point of view. We would like to focus on empowerment of female activity, and female participation helps to soften influence on society. Belarus is in the number of 27 countries of the world that have managed to show good numbers in terms of participation and female participation, speaking about government. Speaking about civil servants, people who give the image of the modern Belarus is about more than 70% of females. Not long ago, we had the 8th parliament elected, and in the low chamber of women, in the low chamber of the parliament, it's about 30–35%, and in the upper one, about 40%. And speaking about local deputies, the number of women is 47%. By all means, if you speak about the role of the leader, it shouldn't depend on gender. It should depend on personal qualities and traits, ambitions, healthy ambitions. It should be the basis of gender balance, of gender policy. But quite many countries come across with the so-called horizontal gender segregation, when in some jobs, for example, male majority may prevail. For example, if you speak about employment, the sphere of service is welcoming ladies. If you speak about health care, it's 86%. female leaders, supervisors, as female leaders, we can speak about gender balance in terms of employment. There is a national strategy of stability, of sustainable development of Belarus up to 2035, with the certain article dedicated to gender equality, and we are ready to share our national policies and positive experience with representatives, female representatives of our other countries. Alexander Lukashenko, our president, has always supported ladies and ladies' movement. We live in difficult time, and it concerned the times of 2020. There was a time of turbulence. He managed to do the best of the team building and shape the image of the Belarus female epitome. More than 10,000 females take an active part in terms of sanctioned work and the pressure on our country. We are aimed at uniting everyone into one and powerful movement that is to defend and protect sovereignty and traditional values of our country. And we have to resist any possibility, any outer hampering into our policy. Active work is at the platform of Parliament Assembly of the Commonwealth of Independent States, former republics of the Soviet Union. We are ready to open our platforms as platforms of interaction of this quite big and powerful female movement. We are dynamically developing in terms of economy, in terms of culture. We are sure that the countries involved in BRICS and Shanghai Organization of Cooperation, we have to unite our efforts because we face new challenges. We face sovereignty hampering and some attempts to give some wasteful use to ladies in some political games. Ladies from Belarus and Russia have always been interconnected in terms of culture and traditions of our peoples. Us, as females of the goodwill, we can do quite a lot to reserve peace in our countries. And we are sure that the global mission of the lady is to prevent conflicts, to bring people to peace and make them develop in terms of positive agenda. Because modern world needs diplomacy from the side of women. We are here, we are united, no matter what we do, professionally speaking, or whether we are housewives or political leaders, we have to think and speak about safety and confidence in our future. I guess the future of next generations depends on females. Dear friends, we are finishing the work of our session, and we would like to refer to our speakers with the request to publish the reports in our summary of the so-called main ideas of our forum, so that we might share the experience with new generations of young politicians and make them use it in their work. Thank you so much for your contentful reports and presenting females as politicians of your countries, and we hope that we're going to have further cooperation. Let's applaud our speakers. And we are going to focus on making agreements, signing agreements.
Dear guests, dear friends, we would like to invite you in order to sign the agreement on cooperation of females in Uzbekistan and Merhamet organization. Please proceed here. So, the agreement on cooperation and collaboration between the Organization of Females in Uzbekistan and the Union of Female Deputies Merhamet will be signed by Nasiba Nirazilova, the chairperson of the Association of Female of Uzbekistan, and Alsu Nabieva, the head of the Female Deputies Association of the Republic of Tatarstan, Merhamet.
Просьба обменяться папками.
So please exchange the documents.
Поздравляем.
Congratulations, the agreement is signed.
Церемония подписания соглашения.
The ceremony is still on. The agreement between the lithographic workshop on behalf of Smirnova Yekaterina and UR Designs Group on behalf of his head, Gai Atkarji.
Between Litho Workshop, represented by CEO Ekaterina Smirnova, and UR Designs Group, represented by the founder and CEO Haya Al-Katerji. Please. Просьба обменяться папками.
Please exchange folders.
Соглашение о сотрудничестве подписано.
The cooperation agreement is signed. Congratulations.
Церемония подписания соглашений продолжается.
The ceremony is still on. The cooperation agreement between the art workshop Litho on behalf of Yekaterina Smirnova and Gallery of Japanese Art on behalf of Vasilina Miralyubova.
Просьба обменяться папками.
Please exchange your folders.
Соглашение о сотрудничестве.
The cooperation agreement is signed. Congratulations.
На этом церемония.
The ceremony is off. Thank you very much.